This Pioneer Field Agronomist Scott Eversgerd with this week's weekly agronomy message. As we look at the current crop progress, we're progressing pretty well. We're setting today at about 1,600 GDUs on corn that was planted the last week of April. That puts it in the R2 growth stage with an estimated black layer date around August 21st. So if we black layer around August 21st, knowing our historical GDUs and GDU requirements to remove moisture out of the corn, that puts us at 20% corn somewhere around the middle of September to the third week of September. So that'd be a rough gauge as to maybe when we could look at possibly harvesting some 20% corn. So while our heat and moisture has actually been adequate here lately, the one thing we are running a little short on is sunlight. You know, with the month of June and especially early July being pretty cloudy, our solar radiation levels are actually running pretty low. Now overall this isn't a big deal, but what we do want to take note of that is as we continue to develop and go out through the summer, one of the things as we fill a big seed load in this corn crop is we could see the onset of anthracnose stalk rot. This is a pathogen that kind of likes that type of environment and really can get into a corn plant and do some damage. So as we progress through the summer, we'll continue to watch that and let you know if we're seeing any big issues with anthracnose stalk rot. Northern corn leaf blight, gray leaf spot, kind of the two foliar diseases we've been on the lookout for the last couple weeks. Some spraying going on to control those pathogens. The heat coming up this week in the low 90s for the biggest part of the week is the way it looks. That will help arrest some of that disease development, so we should see those diseases slow down a bit, but at the same time to continue to monitor your fields for those diseases and make sure we're keeping those fields clean. From an insect standpoint, I've gotten some report of some grasshopper feeding. There are some grasshoppers in the area. These little dudes can be pretty devastating if they get numbers and they really start chomping. So I'm sure as you're out mowing your grass and mowing some road ditches, you're noticing a lot of grasshoppers. So keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not moving into the fields and causing too much damage there. Again, there are some Japanese beetles out there feeding on some corn silks, but historically we've seen that we get by pretty well with a little bit of feeding, usually not a big deal. And the last thing on soybeans, keep in mind some of these early planted soybeans that we got in the first week of May, they'll be hitting that R3 growth stage pretty quick. So if you're thinking about a fungicide application on soybeans, that's going to be coming up right around the corner. As always, if you have any questions, please let your Pioneer sales rep know. Thanks.